Hi, welcome to this quick little tutorial. I'm going to be painting some daisies on this. This is a piece of graphic paper, and I'll probably do a little bit more like an 8x10, but I'm just gonna use this whole thing just because I have it. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna use some blending solution, and the reason I'm using this instead of isopropyl alcohol is I kind of want it to stay a little bit wet for a little bit longer, so I can manipulate the background a little bit. So I have several different greens here. I've got a little citrus, some moss, and a little bit of willow. These are all by Ranger. A little, and maybe even just a teeny bit of latte. And then I'm gonna just kind of move it around and get it to where, oh, this color is fabulous. The way I want it. And I'm going to speed this part up just because, and I kind of want it lighter on the top and darker on the bottom. Like I said, I'm not going to worry about getting it to the complete, all the levels, I mean the whole page, because I'm going to make it be about an 8x10. So, yeah, this is the part that you just kind of move. And then I've got a little credit key card from a hotel room. And as it's drying, I just kind of want to make some like stems like this. And I'll just continue to do this as it dries. I'm going to kind of get that a little, I don't like that. I'm a stickler for hard edges, so let's just kind of move it around a little bit more, get some of the excess off. That's pretty right there. Kind of want it to stay. And then again, just keep moving it until it dries. And then you can let it, keep manipulating the ink as well. I'm getting some nice little lines there, which I'm really liking. They look like trees, which would be a cool little thing to do as well. So I will be back. Just going to keep doing this until the ink is fairly dry. So as you can see, it's almost dry. There's still a little bit of a shine left, but it's still manipulating a little. And this is where you can get some of the darker lines. The more prominent ones. And this is really looking cool. I'm kind of happy with how it turned out. So I am gonna let it fully dry before I get anything, but I wanted to jump on here and show you. I'm gonna try to use some of these Fantastics, sorry, to get to back to white. And that's the beauty of graphics, is you can. I mean, you can mark this out and put a fine line resist pen or any kind of misket or whatever on here if you'd like, but I find that to be kind of a wasted step, especially with these certain kind of papers. I mean, like if you're using Yupo, you definitely will need to use to white it out, because you won't be able to get, it'll stain, these colors will stain the paper pretty well. So I'll be right back. So I want to apologize for my light a little bit, but it helps. I work in my basement and it's a little dark. So it helps me to see a lot better. So I'm just going to get my, my Fantastic, kind of fairly clean with, just damp with some isopropyl alcohol. So as you can tell, I use a puppy pad and it gets really messy. And I like to keep using them until they're just so gross I can't stand it, and then I throw them away, because there's no sense in just like keep throwing them away. Anyway, I'm going to take out a little, the center of the daisy, and I'm just going to put them here and there. I don't want it too wet because I don't want it to bloom. One up here. One here. And this is just a 15-minute little video, so I don't want to get like too involved. And I just want it to be kind of like a practice and fun. And I can always come back and add stuff later. one's kind of like too close to that one, but that's okay. And it's okay if I don't get all of the ink off too. You can also use the handy dandy, and like I said, I'm trying to get, I don't want it to be too white. And sometimes it's also interesting when they're not all going the same direction, because they never are in nature. And this one, need the little petal right there. So I'm going to speed this part up and I will come back. Okay, this is a really good start. Now there's several things I could do. I could use a marker. I could use a brush. I'm going to use some of this, and I'm going to use a brush. So I have several different options. I poured a little, this is a mess, I reuse these as well, a little moss in here, and I let it evaporate. And I'm going to get a fairly, this is so old, I can't even tell what it is. But it's a round, kind of a liner. And I'm going to take a little of this dried out moss. I think that's whichever one it is. And then I want to do a couple stems before I get too started to accentuate a few of the stems. And I will probably come back and do more. I just kind of want to get an idea where they're going to be. So just to reactivate, you just use a little bit more isopropyl alcohol to get it reactivated. Okay, that's good for now. And then I'm going to clean my brush. And I'm going to use a little bit of this latte. I'm going to put it in the empty spot on my, if I have one, clean it out. An empty spot on my palette. These weld palettes are very nice to help keep, to get your inks dry and to keep them contained. And 90% of painting with alcohol inks is learning to control the evaporation level. Oops, that was not good. So I've got a little ginger in there too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just get a little bit of latte. I'm going to kind of squish it around, get it dry. I don't want very much. That's when my puppy pad goes in. See, it blooms on my puppy pad, and then I don't have very much on. And I'm just going to put a little bit in the center. And as it dries, it gets darker. It's really wet. See, it's blooming. So I might let that dry just a little bit longer. A little bit of ginger, add that there. Yeah, I'm gonna let these dry just a few minutes longer. There we go. That's about right. It doesn't take long, and you can always manipulate it. And grab the ink that's on the side of the palette. That also helps. I'm gonna go up here in the green a little bit. I didn't think that one was big enough. And add some more here. Remember, when you're painting anything, it's important to find your light source and keep that in mind as you go. And I'm going to add a little bit of ginger that's dried up and put it on the bottom. Let's give a little bit of make it look a little bit more round to get a little bit of a dimension there. Like I said, this is going to be a fast tutorial. If you'd like more of this kind of thing, there's monthly, the Alcohol Ink Art community does a great tutorials with a whole bunch of different things, and it's just awesome. I want to get a little bit yellower, if that's a word. And I just want to add a little bit of yellow onto where the sun is hitting it. Just a couple on, just a little bit. Now I'm going to I have a little bit of a blue marker that has seen better days. I'm just going to add a little teeny bit of blue in here. Not on everyone, just here and there. And I'm going to take my brush. Alcohol is really hard on brushes, so I try not to use anything that's like super expensive, because see if you can see this, it frays them. It's just really hard on them. So I use fairly inexpensive brushes for when I'm working with alcohol inks. Just want to kind of blend. You can even use a little bit of that yellow that you have in the thing. I'll kind of push some of this in to make it look a little bit more natural. I actually really like a little bit of pink. Maybe a little pink. So I'm gonna just keep doing this. I'm gonna speed the camera up just a teeny bit. And actually, I think I'm not gonna do that. I'll just cut some parts out. Because actually, I think I'm pretty close to being, I know it doesn't look like it, but being done. I'm just gonna add some highlights and some texture, and then some splatters, because like I said, this is just kind of a quick little tutorial on how to cut and remove ink, and it's super cute the way it is, and I don't think it needs to be super detailed. That's the beauty of inks. And then I just want to keep, like just blend away here and there. And if you'd like to, you can always add, so I put a little snow cap on here. I don't like to mix it in my palette. It changes the colors. And I'm just the reason why I like to do this is it kind of helps to add texture. And I'm just gonna highlight a couple petals. It sinks in and will take on whatever color is underneath. Sometimes you have to do a little bit more. I like that. Almost done, and then I want to take a dental tool and grab some of this and kind of highlight the tops of the flowers, just some dots. Like I said, it's going to take on whatever color is underneath, but it will highlight it a little bit. Kind of gives it a little bit of texture. I like that. I use a lot of snow cap because I don't ever do anything the right way. So there you go. And it's not how you get there, it's just that you get there. And do a little bit of ginger. make sure it's not too blooming, and then do the bottom part. Do a marker too. I just like the nib on it. I like the brush nibs better than the bullets. So I think I am at the point where I'm just gonna add, yeah, I think it looks pretty good. Let's just steal a little bit of this color here and kind of make some definitions in the petals. Same with this one, just because they look awful flat. Move it over a little bit. I like to steal ink. Let's do two here, like this. There we go. And then I'm going to grab my, get all the snow cap off, and I believe this is moss. I'm just gonna accentuate a little bit of the, and add some leaves. And when you put some of them behind the others, it's gonna look more dimensional. I also kind of like to have a little bit darker underneath. It kind of helps push things forward. This is meadow, it's not moss, it's a little bit darker. And it's very evaporated, so it's dark, even darker. I kind of like that. I think we're gonna call that good. And a piece of grass there. And if you don't like it, just kind of cover it up. And I'm going to take one of my paintbrushes, and I think I'm going to add a little pink and to the bottom as a inky splatter. If I don't want it to go other places, I will let's see, take a piece of paper that doesn't have charcoal on it or anything here, what this one's for. And I'm just going to cover that up, and I have quite a bit of alcohol in here, but I don't want it. And then just splatter and go. I like that. That was pretty cute, pretty quick, pretty fun, pretty simple, and don't overthink it.